guys, so welcome back to part 2 on this I Start with the Blues Bob Mintzer transcription. So we were starting to look at the first 4 or 5 bars of letter A, and don't forget the PDF download is right there for you to download too, and that's courtesy of Bob. Check his book out too. Now, this is such a great swinging solo, and it's a great introduction to playing over a jazz blues, jazz changes. So we looked at a few devices here. That first phrase, this swinging phrase, and then this beautiful idea leading you into the 4 chord where Bob plays and then so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now that's over like that. So remember what I said on bar 4 of letter A, it's a mini 2/5 C minor F7 functioning to pull you into the new tonal center of B flat 7, which is your 4 chord in an F blues, F jazz blues. Now from here, we've got a ton of other stuff going on. But even before we do that, I want to take a couple of these phrases and really examine what we could do with them. Now to me, that opening phrase is something you should learn everywhere on the instrument, because you're not always going to play a blues in the key of F. It could be in B flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, E, whatever. Usually in jazz idiom, a lot of keys are flat keys. This suits horn players well. So as bass players and guitar players, we have to kind of catch up, because often when we learn guitar or bass, we tend to favor open strings, E, A, D, G, and so forth. But flat keys are your friends in jazz. Many standards are written in flat keys. I would say predominantly you're going to see flat keys on a lot of classic tunes. So let's look at this phrase, that opening phrase. Let's transpose that to B flat. What if we're playing in a B flat blues? There's our opening line we could use. Works great. And so on. I'm playing something really simple there, but that's my springboard. And so on. Just works as a launching pad. So I learned that in every key. Take a phrase that you like that speaks to you. Play it in every key. So we do F, B flat, upper 4th, E flat. Go upper 4th each time. Go through the cycle like that. It's much more of a useful way to look at modulating. Upper 4th. Then we go to A flat, D flat, G flat. And now you can call this C flat or B. Now into the sharp keys. So E. Beautiful. Works great. So that way I'm learning this phrase in every key. Now, the phrase that I really like in that first section is on bar 4, that little, because it's a 2-5-1 phrase if we just take it by itself, and that's one of the most common chord progressions in jazz music, a 2-5-1. It exists in pop too, but in jazz it's so common. If we were to generalize, we'd probably say 70 or 80% of jazz standards have a 2-5-1 somewhere in the chord sequence, or multiple 2-5-1s. So we're looking at bar 4 of letter A, C minor, F7, to a B flat. And here's our perfect lick for that. We go, and let's play it right through into the B flat bar. So we get, right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I've got the complete phrase. So going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. And again. Notice I'm not overly swinging it. I'm not going. That sounds corny. Straighten the 8s a little bit. So we're still swinging this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. But not too much. And you'll notice that modern improvisers don't heavily swing 8th notes unless it's for a deliberate effect. So there's our little 2-5 line. And if we look at it that way, it's going E flat to G. Well, if it's a C minor, that's the minor 3rd down to the 5th. That's kind of a cool interval anyway. We've got an interval of a minor 6th there. Beautiful. And then we're right next to the next note, the D. So we get. Notice also I'm playing it in different places on the bass. Let me show you. I go. That's just across two strings. I go. And then. Same note, same register, different fingering. Now here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That works quite nicely because I'm not shifting. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go from here, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4. I like that a lot because there's no movement there. It's very easy to play that if you don't have to shift. We can do it here. Octave higher. Perfect. Do this everywhere. That way you start to get inside the phrase. You don't only learn it one finger. This way too I kind of like, even though it's different. Or here. I like this in one way because I'm seeing that F7 or F augmented shape here. Root, third, the sharp 5. So that's kind of neat too. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, I'm adding an open D in there. Listen, I'm making the line breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I go. So it's like an octave below. Because on the bass, there's an available open string that sounds nice. It's in the key. It doesn't sound weird. There I'm using an open G. I kind of like that. 1, 2, 3, and. Beautiful. Such a great phrase. So learn that. Now we want to take it into a different key because this is a 2-5-1. Right? But that's not the only time we're going to see a 2-5-1 in jazz. They're going to be in all keys. So let's learn it. So this line is going 2-5-1 in B flat. Let's learn it up a fourth. So we're going to go 2-5-1 in E flat, right? So instead of being a C minor first chord, it's going to be F minor. Well, we know the line starts on which tone? It starts on the minor third. So we could play this down here, okay? So our first, what's our first note going to be? It's going to be like that. Beautiful. So what we're doing is I'm looking at transposing something. So instead of being a C minor chord, it's going to be an F minor from the minor third and A flat down to the C, the fifth of the F, right? And then my next chord is going to be this B flat with a sharp 5. So what this is doing is it's teaching me about how to find the right notes in the chord. So that's something you could do as well. Just take that through the cycle of fourths and transpose it. And that's going to be really valuable for you. And this is such a great line. Now, let's look at bar 5 of letter A. Just that simple phrase I mentioned in the first video too. And that one is just going, this one. It's a great little phrase that, and all it is 4/8 notes going 9 to root or second to root, second to root. But it's really swinging that. We could base a whole chorus on that one little phrase. I'll do this let me do it in the key of B flat now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there what I did was I used that as kind of a springboard, a platform for my improvisation in B flat, blues in B flat this time. Change key, keep myself on my toes. And you notice I referred back to it as well when I went to the 4 chord, the E flat. And I also quoted from the opening line of this blues as well, the first 2 bars of that. So I'm starting to mutate this solo already into ideas that I can use, so it's not so obvious I'm lifting it, but I'm taking fragments of it. Let me show you that again. Just the first 4 bars. We'll just do it first 4 bars with blues in B flat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, see what I did there? Exactly the same thing. And that gives me this nice little launching pad for whatever I want to play from there. So now you're starting to see how we can get inside a solo and take some of the ideas and make them our own. We'll see you in the next part.